let's get into it. Let's get into the person who has upset like 83 million people potentially. So his name is Rege Jean Page. His name is spelled Rege, which is like spelling Jessica JSCA. So in my notes, I typed out the word reggae, like the music, because I heard reggae being mentioned on a different podcast, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed for these hosts. Why aren't they calling him Reggie? And then I decided to go and watch reggae on SNL, and I was like, okay, he came out and said that his name is Reggae, so I'm gonna listen to what he says. So Rege Jean Page plays Simon on Bridgerton on Netflix, and he has left the hit series after season 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and read an excerpt from page 6 about Reggae's departure. Quote, Reggae is not coming back to Bridgerton because of creative differences with executive producer Shonda Rhimes and her team. He wasn't happy with what was planned for his character for season 2, which would have kept him a player but not the focal point of the show. End quote. The article claims that, quote, Reggae has been inundated with offers for other interesting and challenging leading roles. And lastly, quote, if you look at all the big names who have left Rhimes' hit show Grey's Anatomy in the past, you see you don't disagree with Shonda. Nobody is bigger than the show. End quote. Now, we have seen many people prematurely walk away from creative projects, from members of bands who pursue a solo career to actors with thriving roles on TV who go on to pursue movies. And I think that what Reggae has done by leaving Bridgerton is premature. And I think that he doesn't recognize that he's been getting acting offers because he plays Simon on Bridgerton. Now, if you're a reggae stan, I promise you this is not the episode for you. Reggae is handsome, very hot, very attractive and alluring. Like, he's just fun to look at. Very much so. I will give him that. But I'm not going to kiss his ass or sugarcoat just because I wouldn't kick him out of bed. What this whole decision to leave, he made this decision to leave, and I think that he's just feeling himself a little too much. And he will see what happens when he leaves, because he's riding a wave right now. And I was going to wait until the end of the episode to say this, but I'm just going to say whatever I want. I have an outline, but we'll see if I stick to it, because I'm clearly passionate about my future baby daddy getting off of Bridgerton. But the reality is, well, I'm sorry, what I have to say about this, or my most controversial statement about this, actually I need to save until the end of the fucking episode, because woo, it's not going to sit right. It's not going to sit well with everybody. But we are in a pandemic. So a lot of progress has been made, obviously, but we're in a fucking pandemic, and I need for Netflix and Shondaland to describe to me why this announcement was made when we are still in a pandemic and there's still things that we're going through and that we got going on. Now, Netflix announced this on April 2nd. So naturally people are like, well, I don't know if it's an April Fool's joke. This could be a late April Fool's joke. That's so so sad that I was sitting here like, okay, hopefully this is a late April Fool's joke. I was like, this cannot be real. This man's career and profile has skyrocketed. It's through the roof, all because of this one project. And this show was 8 fucking episodes. How many people, how many aspiring actors would love to be on a show for 8 episodes and then their entire life changes? He is so incredibly lucky. And so when it comes to Bridgerton with Rege leaving the show abruptly, we do not get to see Simon as a father. And we already know he was going to be a great dad. They showed how great Simon was with kids the whole series, right? The whole first season. And it was like, okay, this man, he has it in him. He's paternal. And that leads me to a side note. So I am not going to name names because this is so humiliating that I would never embarrass this person by naming them. But there is a celebrity. She's pretty D-list, C-list, D-list. Who on her Instagram, she watched Bridgerton much later than everybody else. So I watched Bridgerton probably around a month after its release, somewhere around there. And she watched it like a month after me. Anyway, so I follow a celebrity who did not know that Simon was pretending to be sterile. So she was posting IG stories, watching the show. She was like, Daphne, it's because he can't have kids. And blah, blah, blah. And like her post, she was just like, literally thought, she's like, oh, this sucks. He's sterile. I was like, wait, what? I cannot believe. Who watches Bridgerton? Who sees that Simon tells his father, I'm never having children. And Simon pulls the fuck out of the pussy. If he was sterile, he wouldn't be pulling out, bitch. Hello? If he was sterile, like, you wouldn't have seen him tell his dad he's not going to have no kids. You wouldn't have seen him say, I'm not going to get married because I'm not going to have no kids, and how great he is around kids. You know that he wanted it, but he was trying to keep this very strange revenge against a man who was no longer alive. Every single clue was there. All of the seeds were there, and this bitch was literally going on Instagram and saying that Simon can't have kids. It was, I don't know. So yes, I'm not going to name drop her, but wow. Just wow. I mean, yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. But my heart broke for her because the secondhand embarrassment was very strong for me. This bitch has like, oh gosh, like 400K followers. Like, that many people don't need to know like that you couldn't understand something that simple. So we also, back to the show, back to season 2 and beyond of Bridgerton, we don't get to see Simon as a father. We don't get to see Simon and Daphne as a family. We don't get to see Daphne and Simon together without being distracted by Daphne's ugly ass bang curl shits plastered to her fucking pale forehead. I know none of y'all are listening to the podcast, but if anybody is connected to anybody connected to this show, please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, get rid of Daphne's greased pubic hair on her forehead next season and moving forward. I was distracted. I wanted to take a brush and brush her bang, curl, shits, whiskers the fuck back. I wanted to shave her head. There was too much going on with Daphne's bullshit bangs. Please shave the bitch's head in season 2 if you want to have her rocking that look. It was distracting because she's pretty. My issue with Daphne, though, the bitch does look all of 13. So that was a little disturbing. But guess what was more disturbing than Daphne looking pre-pubescent? Her bangs, her whisker, peach fuzz, glued down, ugly ass curl, half curl moon shits on her forehead. Please we don't need that. It was, whoever did hair, please, you need to go. Just please be done with the show, this series. So with Bridgerton, every single book, haven't read the books, not interested. It's fun for me to watch the show, not knowing anything about it. So with Bridgerton, every single book is about a different Bridgerton family member, and apparently, supposedly, it's a love story for every single character. And season 2 will be focusing on Anthony, Daphne's brother Anthony. And as far as Anthony is concerned, Anthony is a rake, okay? And Anthony is a fuck boy. And Anthony Bridgerton is an asshole. He's unlikable. We are going from Simon, a man who was desperately in love with Daphne, who burns for Daphne, to a fuck boy, right? So we got to deal with the fuck boy getting the spotlight and deal with the absence of the Duke of Hastings. The moment that Anthony dumped his hoe in such a rude way, they fucked. They was laid up in the bed and he was like, you have to go. And it was just like, ouch. I had chills. I felt so dirty and disgusted watching that. And you know what's even more fucked up about that? If you were back in those days and somebody's like, we're done, bitch, you can't go on their Instagram. You can't go on their Facebook. You can't be stalking them. Like, you gotta get on a fucking horse and shit to try to roll up on your ex. Like, it's a disaster. When you get dumped back then, you are dumped. It's probably a big effort to try to physically be with that person again and beg them to take you back. You can't text a motherfucker. You can't send no nudes. You can't do shit. And he was just like, he basically told the opera singer to get the fuck out the bed. I was like, I'm done with Anthony. I am good. I am good on him. So we're supposed to go from a romantic guy who was just so great in so many ways. Like, we could stay married, but I'm talking about Simon. Simon telling Daphne, we could stay married, but we're just not going to fuck. Like, what? I mean, he was committed to his crazy promise that he made to his father. And we got to go from Simon to Anthony. I don't like Anthony. And I just do not care who he fucks before he settles down. So a woman has already been cast to play a love interest of Anthony's. Again, that doesn't make me care about his story whatsoever. Anthony is a controlling fuckboy. He told the opera bitch, get the fuck out my bed. And then he doesn't, like, every time he sees her, he, like, gets a boner. He don't want to leave her alone. He's got to go to the back and fuck her. Like, he got to go to her house and, like, just, he's annoying. Like, I cannot with him. I can't. Because we don't, like, realistically, and with some of the stuff that the opera singer would say, you could tell that Anthony had put her through so much. Fuck him. I'm not fucking with Anthony. Sorry, you guys. I'm using, a lot of profanity up in this episode because I'm that passionate about fucking these assholes on the show. So then, to top it all off, Anthony says that he's got a duel with Simon because he caught Daphne in the garden with Simon. But you are friends with Simon and you're trying to murder him or have him murder you? Like, I can't. I cannot with fucking Anthony Bridgerton. I don't like him at all. He's crazy to me. And it's like when the opera singer is out there trying to live her best life, he's got to like just roll up and just continue to use her for sex. I'm not into it. So I want to boycott Netflix. Okay, like Monique tried to sell us to do years ago. I want to boycott Bridgerton, or I want to watch season 2 like 2 months after it's released just to F with the numbers, just to F with the ratings. I'm lying. Obviously I'm lying. I'm not boycotting Netflix. I will watch Bridgerton season 2, but I do believe that the series, the ratings will take a dip. Now, thousands of people have said that they will not be watching season 2. They put that in the comments. But that's just them reacting to the shock and the heartbreak of Simon leaving the series. If a lot of us are going to be curious to see what happens in season 2, but I feel bad for the people connected to the show because they would have never began the series with Daphne and Simon and reeled people in to them as a couple and made them two people that we care about the most, two characters that we care about the most, because those are the characters that we know the most about and had the most screen time. And it's very sad that Simon, aka Rege, decided to bail because it would have been better for them to show the other Bridgerton's stories to launch with anyone else but Daphne and Simon, because then we wouldn't be pressed that Simon is leaving. So if we started off with Anthony or anyone else, that would have been so much better, because we just wouldn't have been invested in the Daphne and storyline that we weren't introduced to yet. So does Rege realize the cultural impact of starring in the most watched Netflix series, and that it's too late for fans of the show to see him as anything other than Simon? So some people have said that he doesn't want to be typecast and that's why he's leaving. But ask Macaulay Culkin or any actor who had an iconic role in a huge box office success or, television or movie success. Ask them if their fans have stopped coming up to them and quoting their favorite lines from their project or talking about their favorite scenes. I burn for Rege. And I think fans will always tell him they burn for him as well. It doesn't matter how many roles that Rege takes on after this. He's going to be seen as Simon, the Duke of Hastings. And as huge as Bridgerton is, it would be easy for Rege to portray other characters without worrying about being typecast. You won't be typecast when you play characters in different genres. When you show your range. That's how it works, you rake. You fucking rake, Rege. So, Rege reportedly refused cameo appearances for season 2. They were offering him $50,000 an episode, according to reports, more than any other member on the series. That's how badly they wanted Rege to bring his sexy ass back to the show. So I am hoping that Rege will return for season 3, because every single story says that he's not coming back for season 2. And it says nothing about any other season. It just says season 2. And I feel that Netflix, especially if season 2 kind of tanks a little bit in the ratings or significantly, that they might throw a huge bag at him and maybe he will comply and maybe he will go ahead and decide to to rejoin the show. Um, as a Black fan of Bridgerton, I feel as though Rege's departure changes the dynamic of the colorblind society that the show takes place in. Will the show be as diverse with a Black actor or actress in a committed relationship with one of the main white characters in the absence of Simon? I guess we'll have to see, but Simon was so incredibly sexy. It's going to be hard for them to find someone as sexy, at least if we're talking about men. And it will just be interesting to see, like, okay, he was such an integral part of the colorblind society. There was Simon, and there was the biracial girl who was pregnant, who was highly sought after by all these, or by several white men. But outside of Simon and the biracial pregnant girl, I can't think of any other main character who was seen as a sex symbol and was pursued as much as Simon and the biracial pregnant girl. So I hope that they keep up with that theme of keeping the show incredibly diverse without ever mentioning race in a way that was so fascinating. That, I mean, a huge part of why I fuck with Bridgerton is because it is so fascinating to see what the world could be, where we are talking about character and merit over someone's skin tone, and their race. It was so fascinating because as a viewer, you're like, when are they gonna bring this shit up? When are they gonna talk about how he Black? When they gonna talk about how she's Black? But every single episode, I'm sitting there waiting, like, when is this shit gonna pop off? When is the race war starting? When are they storming the Capitol? Storming the castle. And it didn't happen. So I was like, this is such a wonderful, mind-shifting mindfuck that viewers are able to see what the world could be. And I feel like in the absence of Simon, that will be the effects of what was already put into place with this very hot Black man, being this great father and family man and husband and romantic, and being just everybody knowing how hot he is and respecting him and everything that he is. A lot of that is going to be gone, and it's going to be very awkward that Daphne, who fought for her marriage, she don't got no man anymore. And like, one of the first things that I thought about when I heard that this came out, because of course Daphne is still going to be married to him in season 2 and beyond, is that I just think they're easily going to say that Rege is away. He's away somewhere. That's somewhat of an easy way to write him out of the script, considering that he was, remember how he was like, I'm going to leave. Like, he has other places to go and be. But after seeing their arc, the arc of Simon and Daphne in season 1, it's going to be so fucking off. It's going to be awkward. And it's going to be awkward to the point that I believe that Daphne should barely be in season 2, because her storyline is so interconnected with Simon's that she's just not very interesting to watch as a character who's a married mother, basically a single parent. That's not interesting. It was very interesting though, seeing her fall for the Duke and hope to make that work out and turn other people down. That was interesting. But now that she's alone, like a fucking, well, I'm not going to say that, but now that she's alone, it's just, I'm bored. I'm fucking bored. And I don't care if Simon is sending her letters and doing the most. It's not going to substitute his actual presence on the screen. So, Rege, this is my bombshell. I mean, it's a bombshell only to me, right? Because I'm sitting in a closet and doing this for fun. Um, because obviously it's not like this is e-news or anything. So who knows? Who knows who the hell will listen to this? Who knows who the hell may be turned off by this? But I'm going to keep it 100. And because, like I said, I'm not trying to kiss this man's ass. Rege is hot. He is. He is hot in a way that I fully appreciate. Because I've seen hot men my whole life, but Rege has a very unique look. He has a great smile. It just, all of his features, his facial features are very unique. Even how he does his hair, it just fits his head and his face so well. He has great lips. He is just, he's easy on the eyes, right? That's why he has his fans. He's easy on the eyes. But here I'm gonna go keeping it 100. So one of my issues with Rege leaving the series to be the next Sean Penn, Tom Hanks, male Meryl Streep, whoever he thinks he's gonna be, maybe. One of my issues is that, if I'm being completely honest, Rege isn't that good of an actor. And I'm just speaking the truth, and it is my opinion. So anybody who wants to disagree, any fans who are like, she sucks, that's completely fine. Now, there were at least 2 occasions that I could remember that Rege's acting was trash. But realistically, it was pretty much throughout the show. So I think one time he was like in the ring, because he like boxes and shit, and his acting was trash. And when Daphne rode him and made sure not to jump off by the time he was gonna jizz, and when he like yelled out to her, his acting was trash. There were different times where his acting just wasn't that great. And I'm saying this because somebody that I'm very close to taught me how to notice bad acting. So a different example is when in A Star Is Born, there's this scene where Gaga is with Bradley Cooper. I think it was like when she was supposed to be in his room with him at the first time. And there's a scene where she's basically like moving her lips. It's very slight. It's very quick. Editors and directors, they could be sloppy because I shouldn't notice this as a viewer. But Gaga's lips are moving because she's wording what Bradley Cooper is saying so that she could remember what to then say right after. That is something that someone very close to me taught me about acting. And you don't see it very often because an editor is supposed to take out that cut, that version, but sometimes they don't catch it. But yeah, sometimes basically when you see somebody's lips moving in a scene, they're trying to keep their place of their lines in the script. And so they're mouthing the other actor's lines just to remember when that other actor's will be done with their section so that they themselves will then jump in. It is a mess to watch. That is one of the ways that you could tell somebody's acting is trash. Another way is when you see the wheels turning in their head. And there's a lot of times where you watch anybody who doesn't act well, you see the wheels turning, like they're like, okay, what do I do? Like you could just see them trying to act, whereas a good actor, it seems effortless. So when it comes to Rege, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give his acting a 7. And of course he can improve, and his lips were never moving. And the wheels didn't seem to be turning. I just want to say that because I gave those 2 ways that are big indicators of somebody whose acting is kind of garbage. But with Rege, you could tell he doesn't completely sell certain scenes, certain lines. He's not immersing himself in the character enough for just certain lines. They're just not being delivered as strongly as they could be. And so that's what I mean when I talk about like his acting just isn't that great. So I mean, maybe there's just certain other characters that he would really crush, and I don't know, but based on Bridgerton, I just don't see him as the best actor. and a lot of people who have really killed in every single scene I've ever seen them do, who've left projects prematurely, their careers haven't taken off. And I'm not saying that's going to be the same with Rege's, but still, I don't think he is that great of an actor. Again, he can improve, but it just seems, him doing this seems very egotistical, and like, if I don't leave this show, like, these other opportunities won't be there. And it's like, no, you staying with the series is only going to get you more offers. Period. And if they want you on a cameo basis, if they want you like to appear on screen rarely just to keep fans happy, and you're still saying no, it is a very weird move of his. And I think it's selfish. It's just strange. It's unnecessary. So, in a Vanity Fair story that came out today, Shonda Rhimes joked that people are upset that Rege isn't coming back, and they didn't even kill him, because you know that Shonda loves to kill people off the show who want to leave or that she fires. And Shonda's producing partner, Betsy Beers, said that Betsy and Shonda have succeeded in, quote, finding men that our audiences find devastatingly attractive, and they become incredibly overly attached to, and they get enraged about when we move them about in any way, end quote. That's what Betsy told Vanity Fair today. Sorry, that's not gonna record scratch. Betsy, Anthony Bridgerton is not devastatingly attractive. I think that Anthony Bridgerton is a boy next door who happens to be an asshole. And anyhow, he does not end up with an opera singer. I don't know what y'all are doing with this show. Even if the book has him with another bitch, I don't get it. He's so obsessed with the opera singer. Y'all will have to work very hard to sell me Anthony being with another woman, wifing up someone else, because from what I've seen, I don't see it. He seems completely obsessed with the opera singer. So, Shonda, I feel for her, because in case you didn't know, and I didn't mention it earlier, Rege signed on for 1 season, and which made it completely legal for him to bail and leave the show after 1 season. So I have heard that the contracts for the rest of the entire cast are different, and the contracts say that they must appear on the show from here on out if they are called to appear on the show, because Netflix and the people behind Bridgerton are trying to protect themselves from a Rege 2.0 situation, or Rege, part 2 with someone else. And I just wish that they had thought about that with Rege. Why? People will shock you and they will bail. And I think that Shonda has a flawless record, absolutely flawless. And so people are not trying to run out on her projects. But guess what? Rege did things differently, and he said, I'm out. So I hope that it will be a lesson to Shonda and her team. Don't y'all ever do this shit again. You need to have clauses in the contract that your staff, your cast needs to remain until the series is done. Because Rege said, what a wild journey, or this has been a wild ride, or whatever, when he announced his exit. It's like, a wild ride for whom? We're the ones who are left burning for you, Rege, and you're a rake. You're a rake for doing this shit. But thank you for season 1. It was fun. I enjoyed you on my screen, and I hope that you get everything that you hope for, and that this was really the right move for you. And with that, I will wrap up my Reggae Bridgerton Season 2 episode. Thank you so much for listening. That's why I do this. And I will see you later. And the P Valley episodes are coming. Podcast episodes are coming. I definitely next week next week or the week after, I will be dropping P Valley content in the podcast. But from this point forward, as I said before, I do want to cover some pop culture because why not? Hope you're having a great day. Rate, subscribe, download. Those Apple ratings are crucial, so please go ahead, hit those 5 stars on Apple. Please share this with any Bridgerton fans, any reggae fans. Please just do your part, and I will continue to do my part. And thank you for listening. Have a great day. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at P Valley Podcast.